Hey everybody, welcome back to the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto, and I'm joined today by solid panel of the team. They're always solid with our guys, but Antonio, Anthony, and Omar. Guys, how's everybody doing today?
Great, fantastic.
Living the dream, baby.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Antonio, you doing all right, man? I know he's been the one pressing the most for the Locatelli thing out of the group. I've been super patient, but I hit a boiling point, I think, yesterday. Obviously, we're going to get into that, all that. But real quick, big birthday shout-outs to not one, but two GOATs. Number one, Capitano Chiellini, who cemented himself this summer as one of the greatest Italian defenders. Number two, possibly an even bigger GOAT. The reason I'm a massive Juventino, but my dad. So tanti auguri, pa. I'll see you later. See the grandkids later. We'll share some vino and celebrate. So big birthday shout outs. Now, guys, we'll kick it off right out of the gate. Locatelli. So the deal, it was supposed to be Locatelli Day yesterday. Both teams apparently coming in ready to finalize and shut it down. And yet we have a stipulation that holds it all up. Everything else in place. 5 million euro loan for one season, 7 million in bonuses, 23 million purchase price after that 1 year loan. Obligation sets in once Juve reaches a Champions League spot. Sassuolo did not agree to that. However, today the rumor is they will settle for an obligation on a number of appearances Locatelli is set on. This is ridiculous to me in terms of this deal in general. And just, it's almost like, and I'm not frustrated with just Sassuolo by any means. I am frustrated with them because it takes two teams to negotiate. And the fact that you can go into these meetings and not ask yourself any questions like, what if it goes this way? What if it goes that way? What are we going to be? That's the part that's frustrating. And I can't get over it. Guys, how are you guys feeling yesterday after this thing falls through on a stipulation like this? And they're all together in the same room. And it's just like, oh, well, now we have no idea what to do. So we're all leaving now. We'll talk later date. Like, this is ridiculous to me. And you've got Zoom. It's 2021, for God's sakes. Like, look what we're doing all over the world here. I can't deal with it. Yesterday, I hit a boiling point, and I'm like, both teams got to be better. What's your perception if you're a player looking to join like Juve at some point, and this is what he got to go through? This is the part that frustrates me too, is Locatelli's a guy that's wanting to come to Juve, and we can't even make this transition, anything memorable other than frustrations. Rumor today is that Locatelli is continuing to put pressure on Sassuolo, right? So how do you guys feel about this whole saga, which it has become a saga?
I think Antonio should start.
Yeah, I agree.
But just before I start, for anyone that's want to know what's going on in the background there, I have got no idea. My wife's got this vision, and I've been put in the room. It's not been decorated, so apologies for anyone for the sore eyes. Tanti auguri, Papa Guzzo. Hope he's on a great day as well. In terms of Locatelli, I think I've calmed down a bit since yesterday. I think I speak for everyone. Everybody's a bit frustrated that the deal's not been put over the line, but I think next week will be the key week. I think he'll sign his new contract with Juventus next week. But I must say, I think it's been handled. I think it's embarrassing, to be quite honest, with how it's been handled. More so from our side, and not Sassuolo. They're doing what any normal team would do, but Juventus have handled this one all wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it is a little frustrating from Sassuolo's end of it too, though, because I understand them wanting the obligation set in stuff. Now, it was also brought to my attention, but I don't think it's right, and we have to figure this out, because the obligation, being on a Champions League or any obligation at whatever point, apparently affects when the money can go towards their books, basically, when they could show it, because it's not basically an asset until that falls through. So it might actually end up being a second round before it actually shows up on their books. But then that kind of contradicts the fact of the news that's coming out today, which is they're willing to accept appearances. So to me, it's literally the fact that they're almost like just don't want the Champions League thing, as if we're not going to get that top 4 spot, is how I would look at it. Because if it was the finances, now all of a sudden you're still willing to accept an obligation based on appearances, which is no different than a Champions League thing. Any obligation that's waiting on some type of stipulation apparently pushes that finance off. But I'm still not too sure about that. I think it would still set into the other year. Got to find details on that. But both teams, this is crazy. And I've been taking heat for some tweets that I put out yesterday, and I don't really care. A lot of it's rival fans, which doesn't even matter to me, especially Milan fans. You can join the discussion when your team's relevant again. But as far as like coming at me for being frustrated with both these teams, I've been involved. I was at a power solutions company and whatnot, and I've dealt with multi-million-dollar deals on equipment we've met with the purchasers once. Deals can get done. These guys must be getting paid by the meeting. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why I think there's more going on here than we can see. Like I don't blame Juventus at all. I think what they've been trying to do is they've been trying to push the overall price down. I guess it started, somewhere around 40 million. I think they've been doing what they've needed to do to push it down. Now, I don't think they have had any massive urge to get Locatelli in quickly. So this plays right in their hands. And remember, they're the buyer. So the seller has all the power here, even though the product, in this case, Locatelli, wants to come to Juventus. I think there's something going on the Sassuolo side, whether it's approval processes or negotiating skills, or it seems they seem more discombobulated than Juventus, because Juventus keeps coming in with offers, and then, or from what we've heard in the media, or what the media has been telling us, of course, but it seems like it's to me, it seems there's more going on the Sassuolo side in terms of the negotiation process. So again, if he doesn't play for if we sign him this week, he doesn't play for another 2 to 3 weeks anyways. So if it didn't get done Friday, it gets done this week. I'm not too concerned about it. I've said all along, Locatelli in, Locatelli out doesn't affect the Juventus Serie A season anyways. But
I would feel a lot better about that if we weren't lacking 2 profiles in the middle as bad as we were. Then I'd feel a bit better. But yeah, there's definitely poor strategy on both teams' part. For a while there, we got to remember this has been going on for months, right? And for a while there, it was Juve's offering players in a loan type deal, try and bring price down. And for a while there was like, oh, they may accept this player. Oh, they won't accept this player. So I definitely agree on the Sassuolo thing, which is a big reason why I basically put that tweet out yesterday, because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it's taken this long to figure out exactly what they want, what they need, right? But yeah, it's crazy. Omar, are you frustrated at all in the fact that Juve should have brought him in sooner, because we need him at camp and to get more familiar with Allegri and his teammates?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course, I would have liked him to join in July and start training from day one. This isn't the reality, and I gotta say, I hate it. I hate the way transfers are going on right now in the past few seasons. When you get a message every time someone farts, it's ridiculous. I mean, come on! It wouldn't be great if you just open Twitter right now and say, "Oh, you signed Locatelli. What a great deal! I've heard about it like a week ago, and now it's done." And don't get all the messages like, "Oh, they're going to meet at this hour, then they meet in a disclosed location," and what the hell is going on? Why is this the transfer window right now? Why I'm not? I mean, most of us, all of us, are getting our news from Twitter. It's not the best place for news. It's not a news outlet. It's just a social network, and it's become, just ridiculous. And I'm angry with Sassuolo even more so than you, because we helped them a lot over the years. They are called our little sister, and there's a reason for it. We help them with Simone Zaza, with Berardi, with Polirola, with I don't remember how many players have gone through Sassuolo that came through the Juve Youth Academy.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you making this so hard? I mean, it's done. It's basically done. Why you keep prolonging it to make it worse for us? The player has said that he wants to go to Juve. He declared it on several occasions. He likes tweets about it. He does everything he needs to, and you don't want a player in your team that doesn't want to play for you. So why the hell are you making it this difficult? I'm not going. I felt ridiculous, like opening every minute Twitter to see news from the meeting.
Mal, our friend here, brings up the same point. He goes, it's not the first time we've done deals with them, right? And where is the good relationship, you know? And again, if it's one thing if you're not willing to accept a stipulation, but then like a day after you've had this meeting and you're just like, the player wants Juve. Juve's trying to get him in as soon as possible. And to just turn around and say, no, we're not going to accept a top four, but then we will accept appearances. This is where it's just ridiculous. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's Locatelli too. This is like a 35 million euro deal. Like, and it's going on like as if it's the next Maradona or something.
Yeah, it took PSG like 2 days to sign Messi. Can you imagine the paperwork it took? And like, it's a swallow. I mean, we've done so many deals with them. Why is this one so difficult?
And the Messi thing, I mean, the reason I don't compare those two is because there's no team to negotiate with, right? He's sitting out there on a free, so you're literally only coming to terms with the player, which Juve has done with Locatelli for a while now. Like the terms with Locatelli have been set for a while, so it's just it's crazy. And I know that there's a lot of Juve teams just saying it's just flat out no money from Juve. But the thing is that they've met everything. They've met all the criteria. The only thing was pushing it back a season with that 1 year loan. And for Sassuolo to agree and then just turn around on a stipulation is just like, it makes me want to almost turn around from the whole thing and just fucking try and get him, try and score him if he could just ride it out on a free and just be like, see you later. But
I don't actually think that the relationship with Sassuolo is as strong as many people believe. Sassuolo were one of the teams who were really pissed off at the fact that Juventus were going to join the Super League last year. I can remember De Zerbi just before the Milan game come out in a press conference and more or less said that he didn't want to go to San Siro because of what these teams are looking to do. So I don't necessarily believe that link is so strong as it maybe once was. I think Sassuolo are making us sweat just so they get their say and it's on their terms. I think it's just a matter of time. It's a formality, but
since then he's been deported to Ukraine.
The frustration side, I mean, they've signed his replacement. I don't know the guy's name, but they've signed Locatelli's replacement, so it's going to happen eventually. They need to sell him almost. Yeah.
I think, and like I said, fingers crossed Monday. Maybe Monday could turn into Friday. Who knows? But we'll see what ends up happening. Guys, crazy, wild rumor. Nothing to really take out of it, but it was just the fact that Real is going to bid on Mbappe. Mbappe will go, and PSG wants to complete the Messi-Ronaldo connection. I don't really care so much about that rumor. I just care about the hypothetical question that went nuts on Twitter with opinions, and it was actually very, very entertaining for me on my coffee breaks from work to read all the opinions. But hypothetically, if that all happened, the door was open, PSG came in and wanted to take Ronaldo, would you sell him if the offer came in before this Mercado closed?
Yeah.
No.
So we got two no's. We got a yes from Antonio, and I'm on the fence. The only reason I'm on the fence is because of the time going into the season.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. But I don't know, like, if they could turn something around, but again, they're not really leaving me super confident in being able to sign somebody in this little amount of time, obviously, with how they deal. So I don't know if I do it, but let's get you guys to elaborate on your thoughts. And so let's get somebody on the no side right away.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, Omer. I'm with you, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, and no, because first of all, it's too late. Teams don't like selling their players after the season has started, and the only remaining two leagues are Serie A and La Liga. And we won't get I will be fine with selling Ronaldo and not bringing in anyone. Just leave what we have, save the money, wait for the next summer transfer window. It might give us a boost. But trying to find a replacement for Ronaldo at this moment is we're going to end up with Simone Zaza in the end because no one will be available. So it's a bad timing. Like 2 weeks ago, I would have said yes, but now it's too late.
Anthony, you got anything to add to Omar's?
Yeah, just to add to that is that I wouldn't want to listen to the Twitterverse for 8 months of which striker are we playing today. It would be an absolute mess for 8 months trying to wade through that sea of crap. So just for that, I would say no, don't sell him.
All right, Antonio.
I think financially, I don't need to say why it's a good time to sell him just now. We all know why, because he's got a year left. If someone came in just now, at least we get something out of the transfer fee and we save a lot of money. So the reason I said no was, the reason I said yes, that it should be sold, is purely for a tactical sense. I think we're a much better side without him. I think we're at a very important point of our reconstruction, meaning that these guys are just ready to step up. Chiesa, Dybala, Kulusevski. We all seen last year the games that when Ronaldo never played, we arguably seen the best Juventus side. It was the football, the movement was more fluent, and we don't become so predictable for the opponent. So the reason I say that we should sell him just now is tactically, I think we're a far better side without Cristiano Ronaldo playing.
Yeah, it's actually a tough one to think about. It's not so clear and cut for me, because obviously if you could get a fee out of him, that's great, because then at the end of his contract he'll go for nothing, but you still get a big influx just in the wage that you save. So that's kind of what offsets that transfer to me, when people are like, well, then we lose him on a free. 61 million is a lot of money. He takes home 31 from net, but a lot of people don't realize 61 is the actual number. It's big.
Yeah, I have another problem with it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have another problem with it because Serie A is in bad shape right now when we're losing assets, by the day, from Donnarumma to Damsgaard and Lukaku, and losing Ronaldo will weaken the league. It will weaken the opponents because our opponents got stronger because we had Ronaldo, and Inter brought in Lukaku because they had to deal with someone like Ronaldo. And I don't want to see Serie A getting back to being like the fourth best league in Europe, because then players just wouldn't want to come. A lot of players come because of Ronaldo effect when he came in. So okay, it's an interesting league. There are a lot of interesting things, but now the situation is bad, and keeping Ronaldo a bit may give the league a bit more attention, a bit more money, a bit more sponsorship deals that we could lose in an instant if he leaves.
No, that ship is sailed. That ship is sailed, Omar. Like in our country here with myself and Al, we still don't even know who has the TV rights for Serie A.
Yeah.
So
here it's fine.
It's already a mess, and
it could get worse.
It's going to get worse. Yeah, once he goes, it's going to get worse. I agree with that. But
I don't know if we need to put what's best for Juve and intertwine it with the league, though. To be honest, because the league is not doing any favors to itself. I think that's a big reason why Agnelli kind of latched onto the Super League thing in the first place. When you have officials and governments that are worrying more about how it's gonna affect their pockets rather than expanding the league, helping the league. How many teams have been flat out refused on stadium renovation, stadium builds and stuff like that, and it's because it's not filling their pockets and they're shutting things down. And you think Agnelli's a fool? Like, he sees this, right? So I don't know if I really tie the Ronaldo thing into maintaining Serie A. I mean, I get it. It's a solid point, but at the same time, we can't worry about these guys. Like, look what Inter did. Everybody saw it coming a mile away that they were running themselves broke just to take that title, right? And then what happened? It wasn't going to be sustainable, and now everybody's jumping ship. So it's a little bit of a weird situation to tie into the Serie A thing too. I think it's just we got caught outside of Premier League. All the teams got caught. La Liga got caught. Like, it's just it is what it is. We know the Man Cities and the PSGs don't really. They're not in the same field. Like, it's just that's a whole separate scenario. And then the Prem, you know about the money that they got rolling around. So it's just a tough one. It's a tough one. This Ronaldo thing, though, is interesting. But what I find interesting is that nobody really mentioned the goals, because what a lot of the discussion was the fact that how many goals he scores. I've never been concerned with replacing goals. I never have. Like, I figure things change. That's where your coach gets involved too and stuff. And if we look at this team, like, I don't know, since 2011-12, 2011-12, 77 goals, 12-13, 71, 2013-14, 80, 14-15, 72, 15-16, 75, in 2016-17, 77, 2017-18, 86, but then 2018-19 back down to 70, 2019-20, 76, and then 77 last year. It's kind of like a wash anyways. And you had the earlier years there where we had a pretty overall weak strike force, but the midfield made up for it. Then you had a change where the midfield wasn't providing so much, and then the top front ended up taking it. I've never been worried about the goals, but the one question I ask all of you, has the team gotten better since we added Ronaldo?
No.
Absolutely no.
Well, in some areas.
Go ahead. Let's hear it. So
just before we move on, another important thing that we should consider as well. This is going to be a year where there's going to be a congested fixture list. Ronaldo always goes through a phase where he's not playing at his best, just like anyone. But maybe due to the way he trains, he seems to have that lull. This year, I don't see it being any different. So the question I would ask the panel would be, when that happens, do you think Allegri's got the minerals to bench him? I strongly believe he does. And that will only cause upset within the changing room as well, because Ronaldo, when he's playing good or bad, he doesn't want to sit on the bench. So we're going to sacrifice another season just because we want to keep Ronaldo for his numbers or for whatever reason, which obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I look at the side in general, and I think we're a much better team without him. It's just my opinion, as I say, but I don't see why we couldn't let him go if an offer comes in.
Yeah.
Well, we're stuck with him this year. He's staying. He's not going anywhere. So I don't disagree. I don't disagree with Antonio. And I do think Max has the minerals to bench him. I really do. Yeah. I'm not sure about the congested schedule. Is there something that's causing that? Just maybe elaborate on that. Is there?
The
Champions League?
The World Cup's coming up, so I believe there'll be times where there's. I think so. I've just heard there's going to be a congested fixture list due to the World Cup and being in the winter as well.
I have full confidence that Max is going to handle that. So
it might work out for the best. Yeah, it might. It will be interesting. Like, no, I sort of get the feeling that Ronaldo is, well, okay, fuck it, I want to move, but I can't, so I'll just stay here and let's see how this works out. I think he is a bit more open to sitting on the bench a bit and not playing. That's kind of the feeling I got from all the preseason games and trainings that they uploaded, and it might work for our benefit. Just take the load off him. He knows it's his last year. He knows now Chiesa is the project and Kulusevski is the project, and he's like, on the end, at the most he has one more year. We're not going to renew him. let's see how this plays out. I think Allegri will bench him more than usual.
I hope so. I do hope so.
Actually,
Yeah.
the more I think about it, the more I think he's in a contract year. So he's going to want to see the field a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to want to play for. So the player's going to want to be able to, because he's the product. He has to maximize his image, that's the product that he has to sell. So it may not be as easy as we think for Max to bench him, because he's going to be pushing. His team's going to be pushing for minutes. Hey, I got another $100 million contract I got to sign next year somewhere. So,
Juve made it clear, and hope they sign Locatelli, that the future is Allegri, Chiesa, Dybala, De Ligt, and Locatelli. Ronaldo knows that the plan does not revolve around him, and he's not in the plans a year from now. So if there's a beef between him and Allegri will come out on top. That's how I see
hopefully.
it.
Hopefully.
So how much do you put on, like, in terms of weight, how much do you weigh on the fact of our team getting better? Like, we all kind of think it didn't really get better with adding Ronaldo. We added some good players, a couple good players, but the deal with Chiesa had to be modified wildly. And we were pretty fortunate that Fiorentina even agreed to that, to be honest. But we were fortunate on the Chiesa deal. The De Ligt one was one that they swung after. But how much do you think it's Ronaldo handcuffing us, and how much do you think it was more Paratici's strategy of finding that one big target and filling holes everywhere else?
I don't know.
I think that, you hit it right there. It was signing Ronaldo was the one key to push us up over the edge for Champions League, because we were wrapping up the Scudetto year after year after year. So and that made us fall behind, especially in the midfield. I think we've added some pieces to the midfield, some young pieces. We haven't added the piece. I think everyone sort of agrees that Locatelli is going to be that piece. If Locatelli gets added, I think we bolster that midfield, that much more. We got the young pieces that are set up for when Ronaldo leaves. But next year we will have to add that striker, whether it's a young striker or old striker. That'll have to get added next year once he leaves.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
You never know.
You know why? That's what I'd like Ronaldo that I'd like the idea of him leaving now, because save the money, get yourself 1 year advantage, then you get next summer a player with a big salary. But you had it, if you go from 30 million to Ronaldo to 20 million to Erling Haaland, that's what it would probably take to sign him. Then a year off without paying this amount of wages might be good for us and give us an advantage.
Yeah.
But it probably won't happen. So
the Ronaldo one, it's interesting, man. It's interesting, and I mean, you go back to the time. I think again, it just Juve probably thought they were further along than they actually were. Some things came to sight, and obviously the switch with Marotta and Paratici, I think, was a big part of it. Because maybe if Marotta hung around, things could have been different. Maybe the strategy would have been different. Maybe we could have worked something out a little bit better and bolster the team a bit better, because everybody's got to remember Ronaldo came in and it was Paratici basically circumnavigating his mentor. And then Marotta, there was a big shakeup. Allegri was part of it, and he was kind of worked up, and then Marotta ended up leaving, right? So yeah, the whole thing brought about this massive change to Juve. So it's interesting. And I think the biggest thing is a lot of Ronaldo's fan base need to realize it's not a slight against him when Juventini talk about wanting away possibly. It's literally because of the financial state of where the club sits, the amount of money they're bearing into it, and us realizing that the other pieces aren't in place for Ronaldo. So they need to stop taking it as a knock against him, because it isn't. Nobody can say Cristiano Ronaldo has not done his job. The guy has scored an absurd amount of goals. He was the quickest to Juve to hit 100 goals. So nobody is disrespecting him in having these discussions. It's literally looking at the club's point of view. So that's the biggest thing, and that's what's frustrating about Twitterverse sometimes when you're trying to have these types of discussions, is because they're just so quick to defend him. And I mean, he's got a massive following, and keyboard warriors are going to be a part of that. So it is what it is. But yeah, interesting topic though, for sure. But again, I agree with everybody. He is going to be here this year. Okay. He's going to be around. I am hoping for the absolute best. I would love nothing more than Ronaldo to score 70 friggin' goals and us take all 3 trophies. That's what I want. It's one last go. Let's hope for the best. And I am going to, even if sometimes attitude, things like that frustrate me, I'm going to try and enjoy it, because at the end of the day, we have one of the greatest as part of Juve.
40. I predicted 40 goals.
Yeah, we have that locked in, and Anthony's classic line now is always write it down.
Write that down.
That's his slogan.
Write that down, kids. 40 goals.
40 goals. 40 goals. Well, Antonio made a prediction last season that came to fruition when he came out and just made the shout of Morata bagging 20. So there you go. Anthony's on 40 for Ronaldo. Hopefully that's just Serie A. So, and then the others are bonus. Dybala, contract extension.
Get it done. Get it done.
I'll tell you something. If Ronaldo leaves, if Ronaldo would have left back in July, both Locatelli and Dybala would have been a thing of the past.
Done.
They would have signed and it's been done for a long time.
I don't know, man. This Dybala thing is absolutely absurd. Like, we just spent the beginning of the pod talking about the Locatelli thing, and this Dybala thing is so. The meeting takes place today in what should have been ending, because they had another couple meetings, and the last one was an hour and went very, very well. Great. Again, they meet, and it ends with, of all things, a counter offer from Jorge Antun now on Dybala's side. I don't have the details as of yet. I'm not sure what the counteroffer is, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Again, you've had so much time, and it has definitely taken its toll on Juventini, and I've seen a lot of fans that have now just flipped. They started turning their backs heavily on Dybala for about 2 seasons now, and as this continues to go, it's basically just got a lot of Juventini, from what I'm seeing, just saying sell the guy, like we're done. I want to know where you guys stand on this this second saga that's ongoing with Juve.
Well, I kind of hate this thing that we judge players right now not on their performances on the field. I don't remember it being like that. Like, I used to watch players from time to time. Like, I have no idea what Camoranesi was like in the dressing room. Never heard anything. Just watched him play and liked him because of that. And now you love players because they are leaders in the, in the changing rooms and all stuff around. Making political statements, and I don't like it. If I like how a player plays on the field, that is it for me.
Yeah,
most of the time, unless he's a real douchebag, and that's a different thing.
Yeah. Anthony,
I'm not even sure.
Dybala?
Camoranesi knew how to speak Italian, but that's neither here nor there.
Neither can Ronaldo.
True. Well, in terms of Dybala, I've always been a Dybala fan. He's up on the wall. I just say just get it done. For me, he's the future of this team. Future captain of this team, either him or De Ligt. But him and De Ligt are the two I'd like to see long term sign with Juventus. You're going to get a lot of hate from the 14-year-olds on Twitter who just started shaving yesterday. Oh, Dybala's hurt. He stinks. I don't listen to those idiots. So get the deal done. I think the Juventus offer was $8 million plus bonuses the other day. His team countered with 10. It's the first one in a while. I don't know. We all know he's going to want more than 10, so they just countered low to start, which is normal for this group. So I won't wait. I'm not going to be worried. I think that one's going to get done for sure.
Yeah. Antonio?
Yeah, I agree with Anthony. Dybala, he's the future of Juventus. He's the number 10. He's a captain. The one concern I've got with him is his fitness. He didn't play much at all last year. He's getting on a bit. He's not young. He's lost that extra pace that he had at Palermo. Obviously, that's natural because of his muscle mass that he's put on with Juventus. But I do worry about him. I think he's fragile. I think he's any time he could go down with an injury. I don't know. But as I say, if it's a case of signing him up on a new contract, absolutely. But I'm also got a massive concern. I think the club will be looking at that as well.
Yeah, I think everybody knows I'm a big Dybala fan, but I think this situation frustrates me with both parties again. Just like the Sassuolo and Juventus thing with Locatelli. I think Dybala needs to realize the offer that is being reported is more than fair, in my personal opinion, to Dybala, especially based on recent seasons. I think it's more than fair. The other thing is I kind of knocked Khedira a lot for like the love of the club bullshit when he was still collecting his fat paycheck and not producing anything. And love of the club discussion from Paulo Dybala, as much as I love him, well, return that love. You know, if you have to take a bit of a hit, even if you think you're 2 million more, you know, well, what's being a part of the club you love worth to you? You got to make a bit of a sacrifice too. It's give and take, right? Obviously, this situation, I think both parties are frustrating me too. I think another big key is the fact that Juve could potentially lose him on a free if the extension does not get done. That's what gives Dybala the leverage. So I can see some frustration there because he's using that leverage to a club that apparently he loves and wants to be for a long time. One of the parts of the contracts that was frustrating or that they weren't agreeing on was the length, as Juve was offering till 2025 and Dybala wanted 2026. Well, if you want 2026, you know, you want to be part for a while to come now, but you can't sacrifice $1 million, $2 million here. And the fact is that they've changed it. They've altered it. Instead of flat out saying no to 12 million, apparently he'll reach 12 million in the latter stages of that contract. So again, this is a super frustrating scenario from both point of view, and they've had it for so long. But if Juve loses him on a free, that's absolute catastrophe. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is moving him now, like many you and team want. Number one, who's gonna be after him that he would want to go to? That's another thing. Number two is the value's not going to be what Juve would like anyways.
Yeah. I just expect them to, look at the bigger picture, don't act like they're just money rolling around everywhere. Look at what the club is going through. Like, if we know what we know, Dybala knows probably a lot more than us about the club's financial state, with the COVID and everything. And you say you love the club, so act like you care, because if the 1 million was the problem, then they would have offered it to you already. They need this money, and you say you love the club, so just go ahead and sign it. 1 million here or there, you'll get it from some sponsorship deal anyway.
It's still €1 million. Like, it's money is money, and it's a lot of money over 4 years. So I don't mind the player pushing for more money. It's a business, and they have to go get their money. They have a finite amount of time where they can make their money. And this is where he's going to make his big money, because after 2025, 2026, he may not get those big contracts. So this is it. This is his big chance, like those game shows back in the 80s. This is it. And so that's what he's going to try and maximize it. It'll be interesting to see what the bonuses are, because it's 8+ bonuses or 10+ bonuses. They have to be tied to appearances, those bonuses. Yeah. And the players' team might be pushing for, different types of targets, but my guess it's tied to appearances 100%.
I hate appearance incentives. I would rather performance incentives. I hate appearances.
But in his case, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I
He's
think
missed a lot
It
of
does
time.
make sense in his case based on past couple seasons and injuries and whatnot. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's another ongoing scenario, and it's got Juventini flipped on both sides. So it's it's a tough one, but interesting getting your thoughts, guys. Real quick, just want to touch on Dragusin potentially going on loan next week to Cagliari. Would you do that? Would you be fine with that? I mean, we've got Chiellini's, man, the injury threat's always there, and Rugani's fourth center back right now. How do you guys feel about letting Dragusin on loan? Kind of hesitant, to be honest. What do you guys think?
So
I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You don't care anymore,
Omar, come on.
Yeah, no, I
Omar,
mean-
come on.
I mean, I accepted the fact that Rugani is staying. So if Rugani is going to play in front of Dragusin in the pecking order, so just loan him. Let him play. He might come back next season, but Rugani is here to stay for this season at least. So
Omar's
let
smoking the
Dragusin-
menthols today. He must have the menthols in
No,
a bad mood.
I kind of had it with all these Dragusin, all these loans and who stays, who goes. Like the season starts in 1 week. Get your shit together. Give us a team before the season starts, and let's roll. I mean, I can't take it anymore. Luca Pellegrini, is he going? Is he staying? De Chilio, what the hell is going on with him? I had it. Just can't. Those topics are here since I don't know 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Every summer the same stuff is talked about.
This is something we need to think about though, because I mean Rugani as a fourth center back is I don't even want to get into that. Allegri has talked about Danilo playing as center back. Danilo's so versatile. We saw that all last season that he could play center back, he could play right back, he could play left back. Luca Pellegrini may possibly be on his way out, not be a part of the team, whether it's out on loan or whether it's a sale now that Napoli's inquiring. It doesn't look like he's going to make a name for himself with Juventus. And honestly, I saw a little bit of an uproar about Pellegrini not making the side. I agree he's got some offensive potential, but defensively he is it's just not there. It's just not there. And I've been rooting for the kid.
Yeah.
It's just not there. And Dragusin, I don't know. I see Danilo going to be needed much more in the fullback positions, to be honest. Even with De Chilio back and whatnot, De Chilio being able to play both sides, which is, I think, why he got the edge over Luca Pellegrini. But still, I see Danilo being needed in those fullback positions. Quadrado, I would use higher up the pitch, to be honest, even as a rotation, somebody that could come off the bench and make a big impact, and rotate starts with one of the guys up top there. He could fill in as right back when required, but Danilo for me is probably starting right back. Maybe I'd start him on the left and play Quadrado on the right. I don't really know yet. But I don't know if I'd loan Dragusin so quick. That's all. How do you guys feel about all this thing? Like Pellegrini going away. Antonio, I know you're with me as far as where Sandro stands, right? But Pellegrini's just, for me, he had his opportunity. He couldn't impact enough.
Yeah, you've took the words out of my mouth. He's had his chance. He's been there every season, I think, at pre-season, and it always seems to be that he gets loaned out. I think with Pellegrini and Alexandro's pick your poison. Sandro's done. You can take even in the Barcelona game because I was watching him. I was interested to see how he would play because I've seen some good reports from the Copa America. He played well apparently, but it must be when he pulls on a Juventus jersey, he just seems to keep that consistent level of, as I say, but the Pellegrini thing as well. There's no point in keeping a player about if he's not up to the task. I mean, a lot of people forget this is Juventus we're talking about. It's not with utmost respect to maybe a middle side team like Atalanta or Sassuolo. These guys, Juventus needs 15, 16 players that can come off the bench and perform at the highest level. Pellegrini's not one of them. Danilo, yes, Alexandro, he'll give you the odd good game, but they give you you can trust these players to give you a performance on a one-off game. Pellegrini doesn't. Rugani doesn't. Matteo De Sciglio, we can all say what we want about the guy, but you will get out of maybe 3 or 4 games that he plays, he'll give you that good game where you can trust him. Is he my personal pick? Probably not, but unfortunately, that's just, as Omar says, we're going to have to just live with it just now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what ends up happening there. We've got some talks spurring up there with Pellegrini, obviously, Dragusin and whatnot. But today we've got a match against Atalanta, everybody. And the lineup's supposed to be Szczesny in goal, De Ligt, Chiellini at center backs, Danilo, Sandro as their fullbacks. In the middle, Ramsey again ahead of the defense, Regista. McKennie, Bentancur, the other midfielders, with Dybala, Ronaldo, and Chiesa up top. Dybala as that starting center forward there. Whether it's a false 9, whatnot, we'll see. Most likely. I want to talk about that front 3. How do you guys feel about that front 3 that Allegri's tried out? Dybala there with Ronaldo and Chiesa. Can it work? Do you think it will work? Most people think no, because you need a true number 9 for a front 3. So let's get your thoughts on that one as we wrap up here today.
Antonio, you're shaking your head over there, so go ahead.
It just, do you know what it is? Maybe I just share different opinions to most people. I don't understand how 3 world-class football players can't coexist together. You're talking about arguably the best player that's ever lived, the best young talent in Italy, and Dybala, who's a captain. All 3, your best players need to play together. They work it out. They play at the highest level. They're household names. They work it out. I don't understand why people think they need to be a number 9 there. Dybala actually gives you a better angle, because if he's playing centre forward, he'll drop deep into midfield, bringing a centre defender with him, which allows then Chiesa and Ronaldo to occupy the space in behind him. Morata will always go up against the defender, looking for that physical contact. Look at what Spain done when they played against Italy. They left Morata out, and it caused it caused
They stink.
They do, but they caused Chiellini and Bonucci massive problems, because they played with a player much like Dybala would play, where they drop into midfield and then it creates an overload with the players running in behind. But that is our best front 3. That front 3 on paper can compete with any top side in the world.
Yeah, I think it depends on opponent. It depends on game. I think there's going to be games where you want a 9, and there's going to be others where you don't, and the other guys could do some damage. I think the biggest thing most people think of with the front 3, and maybe it not working, is the way Dybala plays, and just not having a presence in the area or whatnot. But again, I think it just changes the way the team plays. The ball would be kept on the carpet, whatnot, and again, hopefully a little more liquid type football. But again, I'd love to see it, and I want to see it, a decent amount before we say flat out, no, it won't work, because they are class players, and if they get it right, it could be devastating, right? But Omar, Anthony, what do you guys think about that front 3?
Anthony, go ahead.
Well, how can you disagree with a guy sitting in front of Penguin wallpaper? You can't. You simply cannot do it. And I'll agree with my friend down there in Scotland. It's your best 3 players. You got to let them cook. Allegri's going to let them cook for 45 minutes. Let's see what we got. Everybody's been asking for it. Everybody knows it's coming. So 45 minutes, take them all off at halftime. Let's see how it goes. We start next week against Udinese, right? So let's see how it works. Obviously Morata will probably come in the second half and play that traditional 9 role. But yeah, why not? Let's do it. It's preseason. It's going to be at 80% speed, 85% speed. So, let them go at it, and let's see what happens. See how it looks.
Yeah. Guys, predictions. Let's throw out a little fun prediction for today. Juve Atalanta. Mary Demiral going to be on the pitch. Of course, we sent him over there to Atalanta. We've seen our lineup. Ramsey again as Regista. McKennie, Bentancur. midfielders. Chiellini will be in the fold on his birthday. What do we think? What do we think for some scores for this one?
Well, I want to say, because I didn't get a chance to, it didn't work on FIFA, this Ronaldo, Dybala, Chiesa, so probably won't work in real life too. No, I'm kidding. People just want to, say that if it doesn't work, they'll say, oh, we knew it wouldn't work. And that's like, you got to give it a bit of time to gel and, see how it works. And it doesn't matter what title you give each position, a false nine, a winger, a deep line playmaker. The player has his role that he gets from the manager, and if he can do it, then he can. If he doesn't, then it doesn't work. But just let's roll this out. Let's see how it plays. It looks nice. I kind of like it. And we got our hands full with Atalanta today. Not an easy team to try new formations against, but luckily it's a friendly, so we'll see how it works out.
So predictions, but Anin's got a good point here. Dybala's false nine work with Sarri, and possibly Allegri saw that and knows that Dybala, even from working with him, that it could potentially work. Who knows? But again, I'd like to see it before ruling it out completely here. But let's get on to some predictions. Lucas says, cue Mr. Prediction, who Anthony has become as he throws.
You want me to go first? Because I'm going to ruin everybody's.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
So I'll go 3-1 Juventus. I don't really care who scores for Atalanta, but it's going to be McKennie, Chiesa, and a Demirel own goal.
Oh, calling an OG there. Okay.
Write that down, kids.
Write that down. Antonio, predictions.
I always like a 3-1. I stick to my 3-1 predictions in most games. I just hope nobody gets injured tonight. I just hope we get a solid performance and everybody comes out of it uninjured, as I say. But I think this will be the team that starts against Udinese. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Goal scorers, I don't care. Honestly, I genuinely don't.
Play the game. Play the game, Antonio. Shit, play the game.
Ronaldo hat-trick.
Wow. Omer.
Well, I'll go with the 2-1. No, 3-1. 3-1 sounds okay.
3-1.
Yeah, there's no money on the goal scorer, so I'll go with Sandro, Rugani, and Szczesny. If I get one of them, that's my prediction for the season.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a 2-2 game. I think we'll just get it'll just be a draw, whatnot. Again, I just want to see. I'm really curious about just seeing that front three playing together, see what they can cook up and whatnot.
It's,
and then, of course,
it's a cup. It's a friendly cup, so if there's a draw, we go to penalties.
We'll see.
How many spectators are allowed tonight? Is it 10,000? Is that confirmed, yeah?
It goes to.
20,000.
Is it a
20,000.
cup? Wait a second, Omar. It's a cup.
It's a friendly cup. It's some sort of a friendly cup.
It's gonna go to kicks.
I think so.
I didn't know it was a friendly cup. I thought it was literally just a friendly.
No, I think I read it a few weeks ago when they scheduled the game, but wait, let me check it. No, it's titled under club friendlies, but
yeah, that's all I've seen. Well, if it goes to kicks, Juve will win in kicks, but the game will draw 2-2. But and yeah, a lot of draws out there. Someone who's been highly negative all chat, Atalanta will win 3-0. So negative, I'm not sure why it's on a Juve channel. I don't know. It's
only one person could be negative. This guy right down here, that guy down there.
I could be as well. Hey, let's be honest here. I could be as well. But let's see what happens. Enjoy the friendly, whether it's a cup or not. Maybe we'll see some kicks. I'll be all right with that. Again, it's just seeing the guys out together. I think now, hopefully, these guys have been together a couple weeks now, and we're starting to see more of the regulars that Allegri will use. So it'll be interesting. I think people blew things a little bit out of proportion after watching the Barcelona thing. And again, it's just preseason. You got to factor in these guys have just kind of come in. Now he's starting to see more of the regulars. I just want to see that front three and kind of how it clicks, and if there's any type of chemistry that we can build off. That's all to really take out of these things, and guys just getting minutes. We are getting closer to the beginning of the season, though. Again, on Monday, hopefully Monday becomes Locatelli Day. Dybala, who knows what's going to happen with the extension. Let's keep an eye out on Dragusin and Pellegrini for some loans, potentially a sale with Pellegrini. Who knows? But we got a lot of things to watch. We'll keep you up to date on the All Juve cast. We got Juve Today news updates every single morning. Thanks again to the amazing panel, Omar, Antonio, Anthony. Always an absolute pleasure. Thanks for everybody who joined on the live. I saw, again, a lot of new faces. It's a pleasure having you guys on. Positive, negative, I don't care. I love hearing all your opinions.
Tell your friends.
And we'll be in touch. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned this upcoming season, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Forza Juve, Fino alla fine. Enjoy the match today. Ciao.